If breathwork makes you feel better, but your patterns are still repeating, here's what you need to know. This is why breathwork isn't working for you. Now, many people use breathwork almost like a band aid. That's the first reason they use it like a band aid. So think about this. The last time you felt stress or anxiety or anything like that, you probably were told at some point in your life to do box breathing, maybe the cyclic sigh, or some form of breath work so that you can calm that anxiety and that stress. But here's what's happening. We're actually just putting a band-aid on it. We're not actually getting to the deeper layers. So if you actually want to move through that stress and anxiety, it may seem counterintuitive at first, but you have to do what's called your shadow work. Now, let's back up for a second. The shadow is a term coined by the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, and all it means is to make the unconscious conscious, because 95% of your awareness you don't even have access to. We're only 5% consciously aware. So when we're feeling that stress, when we're feeling that anxiety and we don't want to feel it, well, most people teach to utilize breath work in those moments to calm ourselves down. But what that actually does is it creates more compartmentalization, which can turn into dis-ease in the body. That's carrying emotional baggage with you. So if you actually want to change your life and you want to move past stress, anxiety, all of these things, understand that the first reason that breath work isn't working for you is because you've been taught to use it as a band-aid. And that's not your fault. So here's what you can do instead. You can get to the root. And how do we actually get to the root? Well, we need to feel what's coming up to the surface. So this, again, may seem counterintuitive to many people because we're taught, hey, when you're feeling stress, when you're feeling anxiety, when you're feeling triggered, just get yourself into a calm state. Well, sometimes that can be helpful if you are currently in a conversation with someone or you're about to present in a meeting or something like that. But if you're really in that heightened state or you keep coming back to these patterns and you don't understand why you're not moving past those patterns, the reason is you haven't allowed yourself to fully feel it and you need to get to the root. So then the next logical question is, how, Sam? How do I get to that next root? Or how do I get to the root? And what you can do instead is the opposite of breathwork techniques to get into rest and digest. The most common one and the most practical one is what's called circular connected breathing. So it looks like this. Now, I teach all of this in my free community called the Breath Club, but basically all you're doing is you're inhaling and exhaling through the mouth with no pause. You let the diaphragm expand on the inhale and you bring the diaphragm back on the exhale. That, in a nutshell, is circular connected breathing. If you want to learn more, go to the description with this video and sign up for the Breath Club. It's completely free, and in the Breath Club, I teach breathwork exercises and lead you through breath work in real time every week. So with that said, if you want to get to the root, do activating breath work that's going to put you into an alert state. Here's another tip. A lot of times people think like, oh, the sympathetic nervous system is bad because it equals fight or flight. That's not exactly entirely true. That's not the whole story. We can also think of the sympathetic nervous system as an alert state. This can help to give us more energy. It can help to give us more clarity. And for our circumstances here to move beyond those patterns that are holding us back, it can help us to move past those patterns because we allow ourselves to feel what's going on. Now, the third reason why breathwork hasn't been working for you is because you haven't turned off your thinking mind. Now, you see, when you utilize, say, box breathing or any form of breathwork that's going to help you to get into rest and digest, when you just do that, you're not turning off the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is the front part of your brain. That's why it's called frontal, right? And this is your thinking, logical, analytical mind. And in order to turn that off, we need to do activating breath work like circular connected breath. And when we do that, we actually enter into flow states. And the scientific term for flow states is essentially transient hypofrontality. And all that means is that we are temporarily shutting off the prefrontal cortex. That's judgment, that's logic, that's the analytical mind. And that is how we can get to that deeper root so we don't have to carry these patterns with us and we can finally move past them. So again, if breath work hasn't been working for you, this is why. First, you're probably using it as a band-aid. Second, you're not getting to the root. And third, your prefrontal cortex, your thinking mind, is still online. So if you want to get past these patterns, the best way to do so is to lean in and go deeper and allow yourself to feel what's coming to the surface. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to go deeper, then go to the description with this video and sign up for the free breath club. I'll see you.